All right, y'all. Oh my goodness. Hey, y'all caught us. You know.
I shot the sheriff.
Reed Alley ain't the only alley in the world, man. They got one in Kingston, Jamaica that produced the great Bob Marley.
How about that?
And he said, I shot the sheriff, but I did not shoot the deputy. Where me and Vic from, there was a guy named Commodore. He was a bootlegger when bootlegging was like weed became in the 70s and the 80s. Right. And they went over there on a raid.
After Prohibition.
And they didn't take the time to get a search warrant. And he lived in Reed Alley. I stayed on State Street. And all of a sudden, I'm smelling this tear gas, right? Lots of tear gas. And I'm hearing multiple gunshots. They rushed up in there without that warrant, and he shot the sheriff and his son.
Oh, yay.
Wow. Now, he's a legend because he had to have had a gas mask because it was over 100 bullet holes in his house. Mm-hmm. And he came up out of there, and they never could arrest him because they did not have a search warrant. Because the place was full of whiskey because he was a bootlegger. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 11th edition of Uncle Bobby's Country Corner. And this is an exciting and necessary show. To my far left, Cousin Vic.
All the way.
That's right. And next to him is a brother that's going to share some information with us tonight that we definitely need to have and use properly because he's got his piece of. We got to start building teams that are about winning. Like Belichick takes the New England Patriots to the Super Bowl. We got to start having Super Bowl teams put together. To my far right, Lord have mercy. Only reason he needs an introduction is a lot of people my age don't know who you are. This is Geoff Brown out of Chicago,
Chi-Town,
Illinois. And I've always told y'all every week you're going to learn something that should make a difference in your perception of people who look like you. This brother served honorably in the United States Marines.
How about that?
He left there, cast his bucket down here in Los Angeles, made his name ring out around the world as an outstanding comedian. And then he showed that he paid attention in school because he learned the technical aspect of comedic writing, and he's worked with the giants in the industry, D.L. Hughley, you name them.
The Entertainer, Steve Harvey, Sinbad. Good Lord, who else?
That's enough. Because
a lot of folks you think funny by themselves.
I didn't get on this show to kiss your ass because you be done died before I did, and I kissed all that ass for nothing.
How about that?
Okay, so here we go.
I'm gonna take you on the road with that fucking intro. Jesus Christ.
Here we go, y'all. We're gonna talk about reefer madness.
Make me fuck myself.
Reefer madness. Yes. There was a movie many years ago that scared people away from marijuana and into everything that has led to some of the worst addictions you could possibly have. Because out of all of the things that they call drugs, the only one we know for sure you ain't OD'd on is marijuana. Right. You see what I mean? You will go to sleep before you overdose.
Be very interested in your feet for a long time.
if you haven't eaten them.
Oh, boy.
Right, exactly.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to turn the floor over to the madman, Cousin Madman.
I'm going to keep it simple tonight because basically we want to get into some depth about this marijuana thing. However, I'm just going to leave you with one tip. Basically, when marijuana was a drug, they criminalized all of us because we were selling it, trying to make a living, getting everybody high. Now that it is no longer illegal, it is an addiction, and now you can get medical help to service this addiction. All I want to say is this. Marijuana has proven and continues to be proven a health, a cure for many ailments. And basically, there's now an ability for people to get wealthy by the sale of marijuana. And before we all do that, let's let all those brothers who have been incarcerated for selling marijuana out so they can take advantage of this situation that they've been denied all these years.
Yeah, sure. And that's a great way to put it. We're going to have on the phone shortly, if he's not already on the phone, a brother that I met in the 90s, man. He had just been released from prison, and he came by the Community Youth Sports and Arts Foundation. It was a non-profit organization on Crenshaw Boulevard. And it's interesting when you see somebody that you've seen infamously on television. Because when he walked in, I'm like, I heard he was out. He's on? and he's on the air right now, and we'll get back to that story in an extended interview with him in the near future. Freeway Ricky Ross.
Oh,
Wow.
You with us, brother?
The boss.
Yeah, I'm here.
Rick, what's up?
Now, first of all, I want to publicly commend you for what any of us are capable of doing, and that is rebounding from adversity. You're one of the very few people who had $1 billion go through their hand and not end up either dead, disgusted, depressed, left out, forgot about, but you have picked up your life. And what we want to do for a few minutes is talk about how you came back. Now, the one thing you're not coming back to is tennis dominance, because there was a time you could have beat me, Ricky, but that ship done sailed. So we still going to get out and hit some balls in the near future. But back to the subject today. We're talking about the implications of several states passing marijuana laws that still have to submit to federal guidelines, and how that has the industry on that level in a conundrum. And then on the other side of it, as they've opened up that door, very few black people have been able to come up with $250,000 and all of the other requisite things you need to be a dispensary owner. So first of all, how did you manage to get in a position where you can do this in the way that you are presently doing it?
Well, you know, you start small, and a lot of people are not used to starting small. I mean, and that goes with pretty much any business. You know, most people want to start from the top. Well, with me, I understand that you must make baby steps first before you can run. And that's pretty much the way I attack life, is finding a way that I can make baby steps. And along the way, I start to learn and educate myself about what it is that I'm involved with, and I gradually pick up the pace.
So you've had some success in terms of telling your story in the form of a book. What's the name of the book that you wrote a couple of years ago?
It's called Freeway Rick Ross, Untold Autobiography, bestseller.
Well, everything you do turns to something that's the best. So as it relates to how you've been able to, you did that. You have a successful speaking tour. I saw you over at Children Air Sponsors back in the 90s, and that's when I first got to know you as a person, okay? And over the years, I've seen you in the presence of somebody I'm very close to, Geoff Brown. And who are the people that allowed you to get back on your feet, so to speak?
Well, I'm going to be straight up with you, and some people might take this as arrogance, but I don't let nobody allow me to do nothing. I do everything
My man.
myself.
Well, I seen that sitting in Jim's living room a few times, but I was just saying there were people that understood that you deserved to have an opportunity to once again show brilliance, because one of the things that nobody can deny is that you're a brilliant brother.
Well, let me say this here, because I think you misphrased that the wrong. I mean, you phrased that the wrong way, because what you said was who allowed me.
You know what? I didn't know you was paying that much attention, man, because as soon as that word came out of my mouth, I couldn't take it back. So if that's all holding us up, let's move on to, because it's important for us to know
Ricky, who assisted you, who may have given you some guidance.
Because I'm gonna make some more mistakes. Just don't hold me to them, because I'm gonna try not to repeat them.
Or who gave me assistance? A lot of people have assisted me. A lot of people have given me guidance. But at the end of the day, once I make my mind up that I'm gonna do something, I look at it like all of us put our pants on one leg at a time. And I mean, look at who we got. Look at in the White House. We got
man.
One of the stupidest.
You with family, Rick?
People in the world who made the presidency. So when you see that tells me that anything can happen.
Man, that is, you know what, man? I'm going to make that a special. I'm going to edit this part of the show out and send it out. Keep talking, man, because you have said something that everybody needs to understand, man. The only thing separates life is death. And you have proven by saying what you said how you did what you did. You had a level of confidence in your ability, and being black wasn't going to stop you. Being short wasn't going to stop you. You know, being a whole
Being
number
illiterate,
of things.
you know, I was illiterate too. You know, I was illiterate now.
Wow. But you wasn't stupid.
Brother Rick.
No, far from it.
Brother Rick, this is
from
Geoff
that
Brown. Hey, man, I really want to take this time
You ain't got much now.
to commend you.
This nigga told me to shut up on my show.
Oh, cause I'm trying to cross the street, but cars keep coming. Shit. Brother Rick, something that I don't think you get enough credit for was something that my Uncle Bobby used to say. I actually had Uncle Bobby. He said, you need to learn how to do your wrong right. And a lot of people prejudge what, especially black folks get on my goddamn nerves with this, prejudging what it is that you did. And a lot of people don't know this. Rick was saving folks' houses.
Right.
Rick was putting people through school. Rick was buying school clothes and
That's a big part
feeding
of it.
kids and
Right.
doing what, to my knowledge, a lot of brothers that was in that game didn't do none of that.
Or the
And I just,
politicians or some
or the,
people.
bruh,
that's
damn the
supposed to be
politicians.
given to
Damn the
hood.
politicians. Every group of people, when they
Yeah.
first got
Athletes,
to this
entertainers,
country,
all that.
every group of people, when they first got to this country, sold dope.
Excuse me, Jeff.
Yes, sir.
This is the Freeway Ricky portion of the show. You're going to be here for the whole show.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Well, I
thank
tell
you
you
very
what, I'll just sit over here till
No,
it's
you
my
ain't
turn.
going to do it. No, you ain't going to
Somebody
do
let
it.
me know when my turn is. Shit.
We know you're not going to do that, Jeff.
Put watch.
No, you ain't going to do that, Jeff. I ain't going to let you get away with it. So back to you, Fricky.
Fricky?
Fricky. See that? I done got all throwed off. See, I agree with everything that Jeff said. And the one thing I love about Jeff, after having worked with him for several years, is his passion, man. You know, he's honest about everything that he said.
Thank you, brother.
I want to put it in another construct because there's only the caught and the uncaught when you get right down to it. And that's really why what you have is a blueprint for being successful at anything you put your mind to. So I'd like to spend a couple minutes talking about the mindset of Freeway Ricky Ross.
No doubt. We can definitely do that. And you're right. It begins with confidence in yourself and the belief in yourself that that you can accomplish your dreams and your aspirations. So that's basically the mindset that you got to have and know what it is in life that you want.
So let me ask one quick question that my cousin, I think, has a question for you. There's a lot of brothers that knew about the coming era where you could actually, have what they call a dispensary and sell medical marijuana and all of that. But many of the brothers are not anywhere close to being able to legitimately sell a product they've been selling practically their whole life. How did you position yourself that you became correct on paper?
Well, what I did is not in my name. That's the first thing. I learned that sometimes you have to get a straw man.
How about that? How about that?
I love that term too,
So
Rick.
somebody to stand in for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I believe that's a crock of work too, because they're allowing people who broke the law but didn't get caught. Now they're allowed to get a license, but if sold drugs and got caught and went to prison and did your time, you can't get a license. But a person who didn't get caught and they know sold drugs, well, they can get a license. I'm like,
Hey, Ricky, this is Victor. Let me just take a little bit further than that for you. Martha Stewart, Mike Milken is a professor. He has a chair out at UCLA. He got caught twice and paid $600 million fines both times in that penny stock scam. And basically, he's able to do it. I think it goes a little bit further than getting caught and not getting caught. I think it has a lot to do with the tinting of your skin, too.
Well, let's call it race because that's what it is. But here's the beauty of what this brother has accomplished and the cornerstone of this show. We know we black. We know we got issues, but you only got one life to live. So why not know more about people who have beat the odds? So I want to spend a couple more minutes talking about the mindset of Freeway Ricky Ross, who was able to get knocked down, not only get back up, take care of his kids. He got his kids out there on the tennis court now, man. It's a beautiful thing. And he was supposed to came and play some table tennis with me. I ran the table in his absence. And we're going to get out here some tennis balls. And in the process of that, I'm going to appreciate watching somebody that has done things that I want to do. Because we can replicate success in different genres. But the formula is the same. So let's talk about your formula, man, for getting out of a jam and then back into the game of life in a way worth living.
Well, like I said earlier, my main ingredient that I use is a desire to want something for myself. And with that, my next step is I start to learn what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. A lot of times with people, we don't want to take the time out to learn. We want to start from the top. We want to make the big bucks immediately. Well, I've learned that you make baby steps and then you'll gradually grow to be able to run. And that's pretty much the way I attack any business that I go into. Once I learn, then I start teaching the people around me first, the ones that's willing to learn. And after a while, the ones that's not so willing to learn but might be interested.
Well, you know, I paused only because I'm hanging on each and every word because I've got to know you over the years, and I have a tremendous amount of admiration for you.
I'm on the radio.
Yeah, he is, for about 5 more minutes. We're lucky to have caught him this long, man, because the brother be on his game, right? And
Man, I'm on it right now. I'm dealing with my mom's passed yesterday about 1 o'clock.
Oh, man. Sorry to hear that, brother.
Yeah.
Condolences, Rick.
Thank y'all. I got a lot going on.
yes, you do, man. But the
Been in
fact that
hospice for about 2 months though. So.
But you know, the fact that you would even come on this show lets me know you was cool with that because you was a good son, man. Ain't no doubt in my mind about that, man. Because most people wouldn't have came on the show because they dealing with the fact that they got out of here before they could do right by them. You know what I mean?
I tell them that too. I say, I heard people when I was growing up always say, "Give me my flowers while I'm alive."
Yes, sir.
So that's what I do for them. I give them their flowers when they're alive, so I don't have to go to the funeral saying, "I wish I would have did more."
Right,
man. Before we send you back into your orbit, man, the brother to my left, his name is Sultun Aziz. Do y'all know each other?
No, unfortunately not.
Hey, look, Rick, when you get a chance, go up. This show's going to be uploaded on YouTube probably an hour after this show is over with, and check the rest of it out because this brother is a cog in the wheel that we got to put together, man, to start, getting in a position where we can get what we do. We all want money, and black people are the only people that don't know how to make money together. Okay,
They don't have none. Hey, don't have none. Hey,
that ain't the only. It's not. That ain't always the problem. Sometimes you got people who got money that want to hoard it, and then you got people who with expertise that ain't got no money.
Yeah,
we the only community where those two worlds don't come together.
Hey, well, we the ones always playing like we got some and ain't got none.
right.
Yeah,
We want to look like it.
So anyway, watch the rest of the show, and this is the first of, I hope, a series, because there's several industries that we have to look at in terms of our survival and our chance to prosper in the richest country in the world, while we sit over here bellies empty with an attitude. So I really want to thank you, man, especially after what you just shared with me, man, and I send out, just happy feelings, man,
Yes,
for
sir.
you and your family right now. And let's talk later in the week. And this is a part of the campaign that we're on. We're looking for the money the right way and to change our people's condition. And your example, I'm telling you, man, folks need to know how you think, brother. That's for sure.
Well, we're going to give it to them, and hopefully they start off with that book. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, where can they get the book at, Rick?
They can go to my website, freewayrickyross.com, and order the book. It's $20 plus shipping and handling.
Okay.
And I'll autograph it for them as well.
Okay.
If they buy it from me, I can't autograph it if they go to Amazon and buy it.
Okay.
But if they buy it from me, I autograph it. But if they can't get it from me, go to Amazon and keep me on the bestsellers list. I've been on there for a couple years now. Going on a year and a half now.
Uh-huh.
And I'm gonna stay there. And
That's
I'm
right.
self-published, so when you buy my book, you're also supporting black business.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. So Ricky, I'm gonna also hit you back on. I need one day a week out on that tennis court, man. Just to hit. We ain't got to play, man, because I need that.
We gonna work that in.
We need to, man. So I can get back on the air and tell them I wore your ass out. Man, thank you
All
so
right, I
much,
appreciate
man.
it.
I'll
Thank
be back
y'all.
at you, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Freeway Ricky Ross.
Peace,
Yes,
bro.
sir.
So, Jeffrey,
Yes, sir.
I just thanked you because you my peoples.
Yes, sir.
And
Absolutely.
now
Always.
you got a little room to. You heard everything that was said because he be over here acting like he doodling and shit, man. And he's a writer.
Multitasking.
Yeah.
I gotta keep my mind moving.
Yeah. And he's
Keep my mind
dangerous,
moving.
man. He's like you, Vic. Y'all see where I'm from, where me and Vic from. You a double touch hog.
A
See,
double touch.
A
hog?
touch hog is that's all you got. You got one time, then they gonna give you that look. You do it again, furniture moving. Furniture moving. Good people though, otherwise, man.
Furniture moving.
Get the shirt off their back, man. But Lord have me, you touch them twice.
Say, Jeff,
oh my
gonna
goodness.
break some furniture, huh?
Bobby grew up on State Street. My street was called Severe.
Oh, okay.
And it was severe.
Look, I just don't, which is why a lot of people don't see me around as for like with comics or in town around. I do what I got to do, and then I go on where I'm going because not unlike Uncle Bobby, I hold a man to a different standard than I hold a woman. I just do. Besides the fact that I know you, but besides the fact that Uncle Bobby represents you, that's how I know you through Uncle Bobby. Mm-hmm. Besides the fact that you have respected yourself, I ain't gonna talk reckless to you because that's a man.
You
that
got that
might
right. Yeah,
not
yeah.
be the end of it.
His radar is working
and
today.
it might not go the way you think it's gonna go.
Wait till we start smoking weed.
Hey, we have a call that I didn't anticipate, and I'm just curious to know who could possibly have the unmitigated gall.
I think
To
it's
get into
Freeway
this
Ross,
conversation.
Ricky Ross, because it says it right there.
Who is it? Who's on the phone, Portis?
Well, you made a comment about a ping pong game that you didn't have an opportunity to play.
He called back.
Oh, no, that ain't him. That's the guy that
Uh-oh.
he's got a ping pong table in his house, and it almost became firewood. Because I smoked him, barbecued him in his own juice, took him over to his pool table. See, it's hard to be the guy consistently that's got those things in his house.
Right.
Now,
He's supposed to know where it lean and all that.
the reason he was able to acquire that, and again, this show is about models of possibility and best practice. You don't meet too many brothers, dark as this brother is, that didn't play sports, stick-up artists at the elite level to live the way he's lived for the last 30-some years. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Brian Franklin, and I get a lot of very pertinent information from him about the new world that we're living in right now. He told me the other day and showed me that of the 10 richest men in the world, 8 of them make their money off of technology.
How about that?
And they have more wealth, 10 men, than 3.3 billion human beings. Mm-hmm. So, Brian, before we go to break, man, what made you jump into this conversation?
Well, what made me jump in, brother, is I did not know that Brother Rick's mom transitioned, so I sent him a text to offer my condolences, number one. Number two, you threw out there without any details about this ping pong game that Rick was supposed to join us at my house.
Well, you need to stop right there. First of all, who dominated?
You, sir.
Well, the case closed.
Next question.
Yeah. Don't even bring that up till you win again.
And what I said, I'm glad you said again because you know I will.
No. Hell no.
Okay.
It means too much to me. But anyway,
yes, sir.
you got a couple of minutes.
Sir, and I love the content of the possibilities of those who have done work in certain areas. As you know, Rick's done his in a certain area, and I really respect the brother wholeheartedly. As you know, I've done mine in a certain area, and so I really appreciate your show. And I just wanted to reach out to you, sir, and just say thank you for what you do, and I appreciate you.
Hey, before you get off of here, man, because you can't sell a secret, all right? How can people that just may be curious that we're having this kind of conversation go to the next level of curiosity? How can they, just get into your sphere?
Yeah, well, let me throw them back to one of your websites, if I may, Bobby. Your realmendon'tplay.com.
Yeah.
You have a link to us on your site that says shopping mall.
Okay.
So go there. That's how they can get connected with us. So I want to send them to you. That gets them to us. That's how you make more money while you sleep. Is that all right with you, sir?
Yeah, and we'll get into that detail in subsequent shows. 'Cause everything we're talking about right now has to have an interface with the people who know how to manage technology. And this
Yes.
brother here is that kind of dude. You know, everybody that's sitting at this table has distinguished himself at something that has helped other people. And that's how I judge successful people. So, Brian, thanks for calling in. We're going to take a short pause for the calls, and I'll be getting back to you later in the week, brother. Thanks for calling in.
Great show, brother. Thank you.
Thank you. Woo, Lord have mercy.
I like it.
That was
Now you
intense.
got 2 hours.
I like it like this. I like it like this. Ooh yeah. Satisfy my soul. America. Buffalo soldier.
That's who we are, y'all.
Buffalo soldiers.
We've been fighting on arrival, and we fighting right now for a piece of the pie that we are entitled to if we muster up. And I say that in this way. We live in a world now that's just saturated with so-called news, this alternative, fake news, et cetera, and people have gotten away from the news that they make every day. You're a newsmaker whether you want to be or not. Unfortunately, most people's news is bad news because their reputation is messed up. So we're here to make news and be about changing the conditions that make life not worth living for far too many people because we
How
ain't
about
taking
that?
care of our business.
How about that?
So the reason I asked the brother to my left to come in is, and some of y'all that know me know that it's the books you read and the people you meet.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a reason why that's significant, because that which you seek purely in your heart is also seeking you. All right, so you're gonna run into exactly what you're looking for, and too many people are looking surprised that they in a mess because they lied to themselves.
Yeah,
Ladies and
totally.
gentlemen, this is Sultun Aziz. I met him through a brother named Fred Hicks. Birds of a feather flock together. Fred's good people, and he actually bought and read my book, and that led to a meeting we had last night here in the community. We're in the Crenshaw district. We done cast our bucket down right here. And it's the best place to be in Southern California if you're competitive and if you have people you can link arms with, because all of us going to go as far as we can go as individuals, and some people go a
Very
long
far.
distance, but they by themselves. And they become insignificant as a result. Sultun,
Yes, sir.
if you would please define yourself and what you're doing and why you're sitting next to us in a conversation around the legalization of marijuana.
Okay, well, that's not as easy to do in just a couple of words.
Well, take a few.
I consider myself an entrepreneur, first of all. I come from a family of entrepreneurs, some pretty successful ones. And so that's always been in the genetics and the understanding of what to look for and aspire to.
Well, I didn't set this up properly. You were born in New Jersey.
In New Jersey, correct.
And you came here in the 90s?
Yeah, it was the early 90s.
Okay. So now
So
proceed.
After high school. And, you know, being entrepreneurial minded, it is kind of, it's not as easy to go for some of the same ideology or even authority that maybe someone that was groomed in a certain mindset
To get a job.
would. So as well, being a more of a Sunni Muslim, or growing up with the philosophies of Islam, also put me further outside the box, that I didn't have the same type of ideas that the other children had. So I just came up as a free thinker outside of the box. So with the entrepreneur thing, it just kind of just created its own little mix of ideas and things about the world that I wanted to pursue. And I had a lot of out-of-the-box examples of success that it is possible.
Let me ask you this then. Your history, your background, your journey. how does that prepare you to be a cog in this wheel, that we get out of the situation we're presently in, where they're making money hand over fist, selling reefer all over this country, and they doing it legally.
Right.
While most people that are black that are still selling reefer, they run the risk of losing everything they got and going to jail.
Absolutely.
How do we fix that as it relates to what you're doing right now?
Now, just jumping forward, and that's leaving a lot out, obviously, but just getting into the entrepreneurial mindset, and I think that's really what you were hitting so hard with Brother Freeway Rick and a lot of the hustlers that come out of the street, which are self-made businessmen and entrepreneurs. So I think that right away is going to have somebody in the mentality of, how can I expand myself? How can I duplicate a transaction many times over until it creates a wealth that it can take care of my family and the community around you and friends and so forth. So when you as the laws have changed, so jumping forward from that to where we're now, applying that same tenacity and understanding of the basic principles of business, like you said, there are formulas and there's foundation there that apply across industries by far. It's just general rules and principles, universal laws, so to speak. We have to think in those terms and have the desire and the vision, the forethought to see how can I align with the momentum while things are ahead of the curve, or as far ahead of a trend that you'll call a curve, and start to see where you can fit in.
Okay. That's a great explanation for people headed to the Witness Protection Program. What I need for you to do is talk like we talked to get to this stage right here. There's some people that you're interfacing with, that Fred is interfacing with, that are at the front end of this.
Sure.
Explain your interaction and how circling with some other like-minded people who understand that we got to deal with this on several fronts, one of which is the legal piece of this.
Sure.
And we have to change the narrative to the point where they also apply the quote-unquote choice and deregulation. They done deregulated everything except this.
Right.
The banks, the insurance companies, the real estate, everybody else deregulated.
Sure.
But in this instance, there's so many impediments that it makes it hard. How do we climb out of that hole?
It's at the beginning. It's no direct way, or there's no right way at this point, because it's really just at the cusp. All of the states aren't even legal. It's still looked at as taboo all around the world. Even though cultures deal with it, it's not like a global issue. So we're so far ahead of the curve, like in a prohibition for alcohol. So there's a lot of things that we can't even foresee or anticipate. So we're working with where we think is going to go and what's all possible based off of where it came from. And I think what you're hinging on is the breakthrough of it becoming something from a smoking, a psychoactive type of relationship to the plant, to where it's an ingestible medicinal value that is concentrated and potent and known to cure so many different of the major ailments.
That's in the right audience, man, they'd be like standing up and applauding. And as I processed that, I thought about the Sanford & Son show where Officer Hoppy would tell Fred something, and then the other
Smitty would have to fix it.
Smitty would have to interpret it.
Can I do that?
But
interpret
Can I
that
take
for
a
me.
stab at it?
Yeah, go ahead. Jim.
All right. Look here.
Well, that's over my head.
It's real simple. Shit is horrible with weed because weed puts Big Pharma out of business.
There you go.
Okay.
Boom.
The reason that is the chief reason, the reason that weed has such a taboo is a man by the name of William Randolph Hearst of Hearst Publications. This dude had the market cornered like this. I'm selling newspapers, and I also make paper, and I make that paper from tree farms that I own. Hemp was about to put him out of business because hemp, There's a million things you can do with it.
Clothes, everything.
Clothes, rope, a medicine, all kind of stuff that you could do. So he got together with some of his rich cronies and said, how can we shut this hemp thing down?
Right.
Well, let's blame it on the niggas, okay? That's where this movie, Reefer Madness, was made. He produced this movie that basically said, this weed makes white women go crazy for black men. That's the truth. I personally know. I done fuck more white women than Scott Baio, and I'm telling you, half of them didn't smoke weed.
Look, man, I got church people watching.
Oh, you got church people? Yeah. Okay, I fuck more more white women than Kenny G. I'm sorry, maybe they don't like Scott Baio, but yes, okay. To the church people that watch, let me bring this. I was talking to the Lord yesterday, and He said that a lot of y'all are living in poverty because He sent your blessings hidden behind cuss words and hard work.
Ooh.
Now,
and Jeff, and one thing too.
Yes, sir.
To tie in right into the farmer part, you're looking at people with money who are delaying the outcome or the breakout of the marijuana industry because they want to get all of the laws and regulations in place
lined up for them.
Lined up for them because in 2020, economists, all industry publications, all industry leaders are saying that marijuana in the United States is going to be a $50 billion business.
I've heard
Colorado is already
black.
balanced its budget on the taxes generated from marijuana. California is basically California will collect more tax revenue from marijuana than all the other states combined.
Absolutely.
Wow. California. The legalization
No
of marijuana.
No wonder they fixing these potholes and stuff around town.
I'm trying to tell you. But basically, you still have to go and pay that $250,000
just to get in the game.
But
to get that license to grow.
That's not the worst. That's not the worst problem. $250,000 is not any time Puffy can go buy a ring that costs $250,000.
Exactly.
That's not the problem. What black people's problem is being able to connect the people who have $250,000 to the people who need $250,000. And this is the first thing rich niggas want to do is disconnect themselves.
Yeah.
And that problem
is our problem.
Is the problem that needs to be looked at.
And that's on the table, absolutely. But it also takes more and more people understanding some of the things that you just shared, and then Vic,
absolutely
took it and broke it down a different way. Because if we
Follow
ever
the money.
get our minds around this thing, in other words, it's overwhelming when you wake up every day and see what's all is going wrong in the world. Mm-hmm. The biggest challenge is figuring out how can I do the best I can do.
Right.
And as opposed to associating with people who singing the blues every day, find the people that feel the way that I do is like we just ain't got to put up with this. That's what I want to do with this show, is let folks know that there are people out here that as soon as you know about them, it should inspire you to know that whatever you've done that has been heroic, other people have done it too. But we are often surrounded by people that discourage us from doing what they can't see happening. Because the perception in this country is, it is what it is.
See, I liken the fight to get marijuana legalized to the same thing as Obamacare. I still have a problem trying to figure out how a country of 300 million people, half of them will fight to get health care that their tax dollars are paying for.
It's worse than that, Vic.
And now we're looking at marijuana, which we know, which is being validated every single day. All the illnesses that it addresses without the side effects of the 5-minute commercials that you see on TV where you lose your
you're gonna lose your die.
You're gonna die. And basically
a horrible death.
And see, we get back to pharma though. See that, and Jeff hit it on here. One of the most powerful lobby in the world is the pharmaceutical industry.
Nobody else can sell a product.
No.
Where they warn you it could kill you.
Oh, death.
and stay in business.
Sure. Suicide.
We haven't tested it either. By
No.
the way.
No, we
No,
tested
no,
it.
we
We
do
knew
test
the
it.
shit was gonna kill
No,
you.
But they don't even
Here's the-
require.
Well, we
it.
Yeah.
marketed it. No,
Yeah.
we told you about
Just
the
put the
wonderful
disclaimer
things it
up,
was going
yeah.
to do. They knew about the side effects, man.
Possibly.
They knew. No, ain't no possibly, man. You take
Yeah. Somebody done already died.
If you-
Somebody done already had their arm fall off. Somebody, all that shit they say, somebody already did that.
you
Sure.
cannot
That's
poison.
why they know.
You cannot
Yeah.
poison the body into health.
No.
Wow.
That's just a fact.
I know this your show, but I'm going to make you repeat that.
You cannot poison the human body
Wow.
into
Uncle
health.
Bobby needs some T-shirts.
Okay.
T-shirts. I'm just
Now,
saying.
where I was going a minute ago, just to
Let's
stay in the
protest.
framework of what we need to concentrate on is how do we small strokes and fail this big oak called Big Pharma. And it starts with getting people to change the way they look at a situation. Not just marijuana, a situation. How did you get sold some poison? Poison. But something that grew out of the ground in its form, do all of these things, and you can't use it or sell it. How in the fuck did we get up in a situation where
Church folk.
it's a bunch of reasons? What I'm saying is we had to spread the news that, look, y'all, it's about your life. Because they are allowed to keep even this water that I drink. We cannot call this water miracle water. We can't say that the machine that produces the water is a medical device in the United States. It's in 500 hospitals in Japan, and it's been over there for 40-something years. But you cannot make claims that water will help you more than medication, because people have allowed the system to, fulfill its needs at your physical and financial expense. Yeah. We are watching people that we know and love go through tremendous pain, physical deterioration, financial ruination.
You just start with ruin.
Yeah,
financial ruin.
You went broke before you
Yeah.
died. Okay. And I want you to give an example. See, Vic has switched over to Medicaid and Medicare. Here's the problem with Obamacare and the advocacy for any of these things. If you can't get stuff that's natural and use your tax dollars to purchase that,
Sure.
then it don't matter what kind of care you got. That's death insurance. That ain't health insurance.
Well, and doctors have been, and rightfully so. Doctors are some of the one of the most respected industries in medical is in this. And when they tell you that you have to take this drug, this Percocet, this Oxycontin, this oxycodone, hydrocodone, all these drugs with these heroin these opiate derivatives
that are 15 times stronger.
That are 15 times stronger, and then you run out of that prescription, the first thing you're going to do is go run to the street and buy some heroin because it's the same exact chemical.
Just cheaper.
Now we have strands of marijuana where there is the additives, the natural ingredients in that drug offsets the THC, which allows them to treat children. Mm-hmm. So the children are not affected by the THC as long as the THCV is in that marijuana that's going to offset the THC. So now you can give it to children. And it's been proven. Kids who were having seizures 30 and 40 a day are now having 2.
Or none.
Or none. And you can't tell us that is not possible.
Right, the evidence is there.
Sure.
I think there's something, a place we need to start. Rest in peace to Dr. Sebi.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
When we were brought here, we brought our religions with us, which were stripped.
Sure.
We brought our heritages, which were stripped. We were stripped of our languages.
Sure.
The one thing they didn't have to strip us of because they didn't bring us here with it is our diet.
Sure.
The things that we eat, your food is supposed to be your medicine.
Yes.
I don't call myself a vegan. I like to say I'm a conscious herbivore.
Sure.
And when black people get back to eating what black people eat and how black people live and detach themselves from this desire to live like Europeans, you will then see all of this starts. To me, we are really, we out the gate too fast. We're ready, fire, aim.
30 seconds, yeah.
Ready, fire, aim. Where we need to be is working on getting back to who we really were.
Okay, well, here's where I got to get this in right now. If it breathes, bleeds, or gives birth, you're going to have some problems with it if that's the staple of your diet. All right, the one thing that's universal is the human body. Okay, the only thing the body feeds off of is green leafy vegetables and water. Everything else that you put into your body, if it stays in your body longer than to just pass through, you're going to start seeing manifestations of it.
Bro.
Yeah.
I see brothers every day, they look like they're 8 months pregnant. And it's because they have retained stuff that was supposed to went on through them. You follow what I'm saying? Now, with having said that, Vic, because we only got about 7-8 more minutes, I want you to share why this show is just one of many that we're going to do about the things that we need to look at differently and do something about expeditiously and for profit. Somebody close to you had knee surgery.
Let me tell you about this, but first let me just clarify something with Geoff over there. Geoff, I was about to crack up while you were doing your little dissertation because last week, and when you were talking about foods and stuff like that, last week Bobby and I were talking about the same thing, and the word supersize came up. That's why I was cracking up.
Yes, sir.
But basically, let me tell you this story. A good friend of mine, and I helped her through it, had knee replacement surgery. She stayed at the Ritz-Carlton hospital.
Yeah, because she had good insurance.
Yeah, and basically when she got out, I knew something was wrong when they gave her a prescription for Percocet. And I went to 5 drugstores trying to find Percocet, and they were all sold out because the government allocates all opiates to drugstore. And if you sell out your allocation for that month, you can't order for the next month. I went back to her. We talked about it, called the hospital. The doctor said, come back to the hospital and get this Percocet. So I gave it to her. And all of a sudden, getting telephone calls, I can't sleep, I'm throwing
Constipated.
I'm having nightmares. I'm
committing suicide is a possibility.
And this was after 4 days, okay?
It don't take much.
Never had this drug before, any type of these opiates before. So I said, okay, I got the answer for that because Bob and I talk all the time about alternative everything, drugs, everything. So I went down to L.A. and contacted one of my partners with a medicinal marijuana card and got a box of brownies, chocolate bars, and cookies.
Yeah.
Took off that. Everything was going fine. Went to pick her up one day. She's just on her way to go work out. And I said, where are you going? She said, oh, I'm going to the gym. I said, what's wrong? She said, I can't talk right now. I ate a brownie. But here's what happened. After using the marijuana to reduce and diminish that pain, only taking Percocet for 4 days, 3 weeks afterwards, still having the side effects of Percocet.
It's heroin. It's a derivative.
It's heroin. Still having the side effects.
4 days.
Look here, we got about 4 minutes to close. I'm going to give each of you a minute, and I'm going to take a minute. I'm going to start with you, Geoff.
Yes, sir.
Because if I don't, I love this, brother. I want you to come back, man, because your mind is truly, truly amazing, man.
Why, thank
But
you.
you're going to buy me another hour if you want to just show out like you want to.
Man. How much do the hours cost?
But anyway, man,
Yes, sir.
your thoughts on what we've talked about tonight and how you fit into that in terms of your advocacy about right and wrong.
Right, wrong, legal, and illegal have nothing to do with one another with where I come from. It used to be illegal to read. It used to be illegal for black folks to be in certain places during sundown. So I pay no attention to the laws because I have no belief in the lawmakers. What I think as a people we need to do is turn inward. It is time to turn inward. I'm a bit of a fatalist. We keep talking about dollars. I don't think dollars are going to exist in the next 36 months.
There's going to be a currency, though. There's going to be an exchange, man. So we don't have to get caught up in the dollar.
There's going to be, absolutely do. We absolutely need to because too many niggas take pictures next to dollars. People who have a lot of them, you never see them in
No,
photos.
but if they're useless, then they're going to be chasing whatever it is, rubles, or yen, or whatever, because people look for a form of exchange. See, we're going to always, as long as there's people on the earth, they're going to figure out how to exchange things.
Okay. Bitcoins.
They got them going now.
I sold 2 pieces of my property to buy Bitcoin.
So that ain't the biggest issue about the dollar. I want you got 30 seconds to give people.
How much of this my time and you shit?
There you
Is
go.
these basketball seconds or
You know
shit?
what? Yeah. You know why we doing this, man? Because you are coming back. Because I want you to come back.
Okay.
All right, now.
But what
you got
they got to
30
do with my
seconds, man.
goddamn 30 seconds? Okay, anyway,
15.
I'm saying, thank you. I'll take 15 seconds. Find you somebody with $250,000. It's really not that hard to do. Find out what these laws are and get yourself in line with them. But between then and now, you can grow 6 plants on your own.
Absolutely.
You don't need anything to grow 6 plants. Grow your own food, stock your own food, get you some guns because something horrible this way cometh.
Man, he's coming back, y'all. Believe me, man. I love this brother, man.
Thank
He's
you,
good
brother.
people,
Likewise,
man.
brother. Love you too.
That's true, though.
Final thoughts.
Well, I appreciate you, first of all, for having this conversation. It's too much, really, content to squeeze into
We're
a
going to
show.
do sequentially stuff, believe me. Yeah.
So
it's important.
I piggyback on what Geoff said too, but I think that people just have to follow their heart, find what it is about the movement that they enjoy or they think is possible, and just take steps in that direction. Align yourself with like minds and people in that direction are successful, and just take another step and keep stepping forward, and that's the best way to get started.
If you want to make a change in your life, you really seriously got to think about, as a people, how to legalize marijuana all across the United States and get the federal government off, because they still refuse to accept the fact that marijuana is going to be legal. And with these states suffering for lack of funding, the tax revenue, which is like 33% in Colorado, that's why they're making so much money. The tax revenue for marijuana is going to be substantial for every single state. And basically, the state's going to need the money based on what this government is doing right now.
In closing, I'd like to suggest that we apply the same principles to every aspect of our existence on this planet. The things that I'm entitled to are the things that I'm willing to sacrifice for, work for, go through what it takes to get it.
How about that?
And I feel there's nobody on this planet should live any better than I do. And the only way I can do that is to find value in Vic, to find value in Sultan, to find value in Geoff and in Portis, and concentrate on those people. Because as soon as I walk out of this door, I'm going to run into people that have a totally different mindset. And because life happens in real time, you'll waste time trying to sort out who is ready to make a difference in the world. Because everybody ain't ready for that. Jim Brown came on one of my shows one time. He said something that I just can't shake it, because it's sobering and daunting. And he said visionaries have to accept the fact that they're 15 years ahead of the people who would be glad that they did what they did in those 15 years of soldiering by their goddamn self.
Yes, that's the only one.
And everybody in this room, in some way or another, had to practice being a visionary. Because Geoff was not supposed to get out of Chicago alive. He had an attitude. He come from a very deadly neighborhood. He should have got put out of the Marines. You see how hard it is for him to take instructions?
How did you get a hold of my goddamn military records? That's true.
And then
It got leaked, Geoff.
without a formal education, because the people he works alongside in these studios, they are college graduates.
Yeah.
So we got to stop getting caught up in these titles and things and figure out, what do we do that we can do? And then what we can't do, look for people who see value in what you do and close that gap and get this money, man. Thank you for letting me be myself again. And if you want to see a show tomorrow that just takes off where this one landed, I got Jason Whitlock back in the hood, 10 o'clock in the morning, and he ain't going to tell me what he going to talk about till in the morning, and I'm going to try to not look like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. But we're going to go there and beyond. That's 10 o'clock right here at Morris Media Studios. And as I close, I'd like to thank Portis for just being a wonderful person to come in here and let us do this. And a shout out to the brother who owns this building, because what men have done, we can do. So thank you for tuning in. And this show has reached, I think, a nice little soft landing.
Live from Lamert Park.
That's where we at, y'all.
Yes.
Yeah. Next week.
Great show, brother.